Alright, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Adventure Series. And as always, we've got to adjust our audio to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. That sounds good. Got quite a bit to talk about today. Make sure my volume is at an appropriate level as well. Should be good. And I'm going to go ahead and hit F3, and the astute viewer will notice that our x-coordinate is down to 206. The other astute viewer will notice we're in 13W41b, which is the latest snapshot, I believe, released on 10/10 or 10/11, 2013. And, well, I gone done did it. I deleted the file on accident. I deleted the world file for the last adventure series, and so here we are in the new one. And as you can see, it's raining. I have no bed. I did quite a bit of caving, so that's where I've got these diamond guys here. We got quite lucky. I did some strip mining. I got really lucky. There's a cave right by the spawning area, and that is the seed there. And I'll tell you what, that you don't have permission. I was really frustrated, so I did some caving, got all that stuff, and then I killed 3 sheep to get their wool because I'm a smart person. I didn't bother making shears so they could grow back. But anyway, I digress. The important thing is I decided to kill them, and I came here, and it was still plenty light out. It was still way light out. Like right now it's dark and raining, and it wasn't raining. It was plenty light out. Things hadn't started to spawn. And so I'm right here. I dig in a little bit, and I put my crafting table down. I get into the craft menu, so I'm like this, and I'm ready to make my bed. So I put down my 3 pieces of wood, and I pick up the wool into my, pretend this dirt block is wool. I pick that up, and I start to click, and what happens but a creeper jumps down. I didn't make the roof on here. Creeper jumps down and just explodes. I drop everything and just block and get down to, I think, like 2 hearts, something like that. And blew up my furnaces, blew up the iron I had in there, just blew everything up. And quiet down, zombie. And I was going to rage quit, and I was like, well, do I have cheats on? Can I cheat here? Can I just give myself 3 wool? Nope, can't do it. So, made ourselves a hidey hole here, and we're awaiting for daytime now, and we're smelting things up here. We'll have over a stack of iron, which is fine, and I've got some obsidian here, so if we find some sugarcane, we can make make an enchanting table, get some low-level enchants going, which I think will be a good thing. But the first thing, as we await this rainstorm to finish, everything's cooked up? Okay, great. Let's actually just collect everything and head outside. Try to find some wool, maybe make a real bed. So the first thing in the new snapshot that everybody and their mother, so speaking of creepers, hello, I think you're a 3-shotter, forget it. My mouse has been acting funny, and I haven't been getting the precision. I've also got my microphone in a slightly different location, so excuse me. So it's weird because I can't see my mouse now with the sort of setup that I've got going. Can we see? I hear spider. I hear you. Don't think I don't know about you. Why are there so many of these guys? So many creepers out. That's why I just wanted to make my bed and call it a night. Now we have to go look for sheep. Good luck finding some sheep. But the first thing I want to talk about was, in this new snapshot, we've got stained glass has been brought into the game. Come and get some. Which I think is super cool. Let's go ahead and make sure we can heal up fully. And I'll take you. Thank you. I think that's super cool. What I would really love to see out of it would be connected textures. Because right now with glass and ice and things of that nature, you just don't have the connected textures, and it just doesn't look natural or normal, if you will. Oh, good. Dawn is on the horizon. Got some cows here. I shall let you live. But Mr. Zombie, I shall not let you live. That's too dangerous of a thing. Wow. Whoa, big lag spike. 26 frames. Wow, 30 frames. What's going on here? A lot of people saying that the snapshot runs a lot smoother. I'm not finding that. Back up to 40. We are generating terrain, so that could be the issue. But I would love to see connected textures. I think that would be a really cool addition into the game. Once we find our sheep, we can figure out what direction we want to travel. I did throw away some redstone, so I don't have any more on me. Trying to keep myself as decluttered, uncluttered, decluttified. I want to have I don't want to have much clutter in the old inventory here, just to make it easier for just inventory management in general. No sheep. Why would there ever be sheep? In this game, whenever you need there to be something, there never is. And when you don't care as much, that's when you find it. So I wanted to go and make a diamond sword. That's all I cared about, 2 diamonds. Well, I found 14, nope, more than 14, 16, 19, right? We got 19 diamonds out of that deal, which I'm not complaining about, but I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't even trying to get anything like that, but now we're looking for sheep. We're never going to find any. We are never going to find any. Are we going to travel south this time? We may. We might. Nothing wrong with the south direction, right? More cows. Wonderful. So, okay, I guess on our hunt for sheep here. Oh, maybe there's one there, or is that just a birch tree off in the distance? Just a birch tree off in the distance. Ah, this past week has been a very long week for me. I did another round of the teaching that I've been doing, so the kindergarten teaching, and we planned our lesson in such a way. Wolves. Do I have any bones? Ooh, I got 2 bones. Maybe we can get a puppy. Who wants to be my friend? You gonna be my friend? No. Okay. Okay. I'll just go. That's okay. I don't want a wolf anyway. I don't. Where's a skeleton? I want to find a skeleton so I can get a wolf. Probably not gonna happen, but anyway, so the lesson that we planned this week was a well, the question is, do I want to tell that story or do I want to tell a different story? I guess I'll do the teaching, since last adventure series was more adventure related. Of course it was, but it was more of the teaching related, as opposed to, well, administrative, I guess I'll say. But aha, found one. You jerk. Too bad we can't sleep this rain off now. But come here. One. You cheap sheep. Just give me. Oh, thank you. Rain in this game. I remember when rain first came about. Tangent side note here. Everybody loved it. Thought, oh, it's more real. Minecraft's gonna be more realistic now, and oh, it's gonna be a great thing. And a week after, everybody's going, I hate the rain. I wish it would get rid of the rain. Go away, rain. I will admit, I think I was on the bandwagon for rain at the time. Don't really want the brown. It's not going to stack well. Well, we don't have to worry about inventory management for now, and heck, we can make our first bed with that. So I think a little bit different thing I'm going to do this time, in terms of the adventure series here, is I am going to just leave the bed. So if I do end up dying, I will be within a day's walk to wherever we were. With that being said, everything will probably despawn in that time, just by the virtue of the fact that a day is 10 minutes long, and each items only last for about 5. So anyway, we're gonna head south in this series, this new updated adventure series. I'll probably get a new cover picture, so we'll have to take one at some point here, find some cool terrain on our journey. But we decided in our lesson, so getting back to this week and why it was such just a long week. Excuse me, just one sec. Sorry about that. My nose is acting up a little bit. It's finally getting cold. I'll get back to the story eventually. Don't you worry about that. But it's finally starting to cool down, getting closer to winter, and so the body's going, well, I'm cold. I'm gonna go ahead and get congested here for you. So back to the story. For the, I don't know, 4th, 5th, or 6th time. We are doing the 5 senses overall, And this week, our sense that we were teaching was, let's see, smelling. So using your nose, smelling things. And so what we did was we put 6 different scents into cups, and then we put aluminum foil over the top of them, and then we put holes in the aluminum foil. So the attempt with doing the aluminum foil as opposed to like plastic was, well, the kids can see it, and if they can see it, sight is probably the most heavily relied upon sense, just because of the fact that our eyes are so heavily evolved to be, well, as accurate as they are, as well as the other senses that we have. So we do have good other senses as well, but for the most part, people end up just using their sense of sight for the most part. Let's get our food back on the bar. We don't really need sticks on the bar, do we? So we had 6 different smells, scents, and we do a Tuesday-Thursday rotation. I don't know how much I've talked about this or whatnot, but we've got a Tuesday-Thursday rotation. We're in 2 classrooms, and our designated times is about an hour. It's closer to 58 minutes, but that is important because, as I always say, the devil's in the details, especially with teaching. Time management is in the details, or is the devil in the details in that case. So it is really, really important to make sure that you have your time management well done, and make sure everybody's on task and doing what they're supposed to be doing when they are. Otherwise, you're just not going to finish. You're not going to have time to get your things done. But our 6 smells. Let's see if I can remember these. Number 1, we had like cinnamon. Number 2, we had some black pepper. 3, we had, what else did we have? Orange and lemon, so there's 3 and 4. And then number 5, we had coffee. And then number 6 was Nesquik, so sort of a chocolatey Nesquik kind of a smell. And our biggest fears were that the kids were just going to flip them over, dump them out, and sort of figure out that way, oh, I know what it is, because I can't hit anything. I'm blaming it on my mouse location. Come on, there we go. And so that was our sort of biggest fear, but they didn't do that at all. They were actually pretty good the second time. So like I was saying, we do 2 days, so we do a Tuesday and a Thursday, and we 2 different classrooms, 2 different teachers, and then we switch off. So it's bi-weekly teaching, and then I guess you could call it bi-monthly. We'll do a Tuesday in one classroom, then Thursday in the other classroom, and then we'll switch it up. So the next time we're teaching on Tuesday, we'll go into the classroom that we went on Thursday. So that way, each teacher gets a first time the lesson's taught and a second time that the lesson is taught. So it's a little bit more of a fairness thing. So on the Tuesday was when I had my first bout of behavioral problems, and I went ahead and actually recorded my sort of thoughts on that. I did a little bit of a glog in the adventure series, but Audacity wasn't working, and so I literally was just talking to myself for half an hour, not recording any audio. Decided, well, maybe we can do some VO work, some voiceover, and I started doing that, and it just felt really strange, and I still wanted to do commentary on what was going on, but it wasn't going to be possible to sync everything up properly and to remember everything that I was talking about and saying. So I sort of ended up just saying, you know what, forget it. I'll deal with it. I'll delete the footage and I'll just redo it next time. And so, well, that was on a Tuesday, and that was because we had just finished teaching, and I honestly just wanted to sort of get some things off my chest about how the day went. So, had behavioral problems, had some kids who were just acting up, who just did not want to listen to directions and instructions, and this is the first time I've ever had any behavioral problems with any students. I've never really had to be an authority figure. And I think some of the reason for that is in the past when we've done this kind of stuff, it was either as a larger one, one large group, or the teachers, the students' regular teachers would be there all the time as well, and be going around and making sure everybody's on task. But the way we've got it set up is that the teachers are sitting at a station, and then my co-teacher and I are at a station, then we get one of the parents to come in and help us out as well, and so they're at a station. So everybody's got their own station, and everybody's got to be be their own boss, be their own authority, all that kind of stuff. So I've never had to deal with it. In college, you don't have to deal with it because you say, hey, kid, somebody's acting a fool, and you just tell them, hey, get out of my. I want to jump. I'm doing it. It's gonna happen. There. That's what I wanted to do. If you in college have that issue, you just say, hey, get out of my lab, get out of my classroom. I don't want to deal with you. And for the most part, you don't have the behavioral issues as much, or you give them a little bit of a warning. Kids are talking in a lecture, and you give them the stern, hey, are there any questions over there? You give them one of those, and generally you get a, oh no, sorry, kind of response. And if you don't, well, you tell them, hey, get out of my get out of my life, get out of my classroom. I don't want you here. Now look at all the sheep we're finding now. We're just in sheep heaven, although they're being really stingy with their wool one at a time. Thank you for being a nice guy. So I had behavioral issues on Tuesday, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like confrontation. I don't like being an authority figure. That's just not my cup of tea, if you will. It's not my thing. Oh, interesting. Flower. Oh, and it's finally getting nighttime. We can sleep. We can sleep. Okay. Take a quick nap. And we will continue our behavioral issues. Okay. So, we're going to leave the bed. And I'm just going to go ahead now and make another one. Make another couple, actually. Let's just make like 3 of them. We're not going to... We don't have to really worry right now about inventory management. We did just start up. Bam. Okay. Get that out of here. Ooh, hitting the wrong buttons as usual. So there are behavioral issues, and so let me back up a little bit here and go a little bit more into what we did and how we sort of planned out the lesson and how exactly we wanted it to work. And you know what the issue is on my. I don't have a mouse pad. Number one. That could be an issue, and number 2 is a wireless mouse, or it's a laser mouse, as well. I think almost every mouse sold today is. I think it'd be almost impossible to get a mouse ball these days. But anyway, I digress. As per usual, I digress onto different subjects. But that's not again, digressing. Let's just stick to topic here. Okay. So we had the kids in groups of 6 because they each had one smell, and what the kids were going to do is they're going to smell it, and then they're going to determine if they think it's a good or bad smell. So it leaves it open to sort of individual students' feelings on, some kids love the smell of pepper, some kids hate it. Some kids love the smell of coffee, some kids hate it. And again, tangent, but some of the kids are saying that they have coffee and they love coffee, and at 5, 6, and 7, you should not be having coffee because there's a study just published somewhat recently that one correlation between overdiagnosis. Well, this wasn't it, but this is sort of my 2 cents. Overdiagnosis of ADHD. Well, you give kids a giant cup of stimulant in the morning. What do you expect is going to happen? But number 2, there is a correlation between giving students coffee and then their underperformance because they can't sleep at night. And so begins the vicious cycle that so many of us adults end up in. So you shouldn't be given coffee to your very small children. But the point of the good and the bad was so the kids could sort of curtail their experiment to their themselves and into their own. Come on. Make it sort of individualized for them. Get back here. I'm gonna get you. And I think that was beneficial because the students then can sort of feel like they're participating more than just, oh yes, of course, this is a bad smell. Everybody knows this is a bad smell. Or, oh, Susie just had this smell and she said it was a bad smell and I know it's a bad smell, so I'm not even going to bother smelling it. I'm just going to circle it as being a bad smell. And so the worksheet that we devised, and by we, I devised this worksheet, and I'm used to, again, making worksheets and teaching higher levels and higher degrees, if that makes sense. So students who are able to manipulate a worksheet fairly well. So what I did was I had a section where it was good, a good smell, and then some boxes, and then we had little designs. How are we getting around you? Well, at the risk of ruining the landscape here. That didn't do a whole ton. Okay. Perfect. Sorry, lava flow. And on the bottom of the worksheet, then they were going to. Oh yeah, so we put the designs little like a square or a triangle or a diamond, or in this particular case, the teacher had taught them that a diamond is what we call a rhombus. So we had the students either put that in the rhombus area or the rhombus area. Wow, this is what happens when you're still not 100% on your gaming and talking at the same time. We had them draw designs such as the rhombus in the good area or the bad area if they thought it was a good smell or a bad smell. And then we had the students try to identify what they thought the smell was, which was, I think, a really cool thing, because some of them were bam, instant, they knew it, and then others were like for the citrusy ones, we had again an orange and a lemon. For those ones, some were thinking, oh, it's a lime, or oh, it's this, and of course they are just what's the word? They're very. I want to say something with the word convictions. They're very strong with their convictions, or they're set in their ways when it comes to what they think it is. And so that was part of the fun. At the end, we in our sort of wrap up conclusion, we decided to have the students. We had them. Or we revealed, excuse me, what all the smells were, and so the students really enjoyed that. I think they got to go, oh, cool. So this one was right, or I was right on that one, or oh man, I was wrong on that one, kind of thing. I think a lot of the students really enjoyed that aspect of it. And we're heading west. Have we been going west for a while? Maybe no. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch the footage. But which way have we been going? Have we been going north quite a bit? No, we've been, I guess, going southish, right? Well, we've been going west for a while. Maybe this will become a westerly travels. Maybe it will. I guess it will, because we have been traveling that way now. I'm just realizing. Oh, we got a savanna. So here's finally some new cool looking terrain here. I mean, we've been in quite a bit of extreme hill-esque ones for a while, but anyway, so the behavior issues I was having, jump back to that, I felt I had to describe what we were doing first before I could go back and say why we're having behavior issues. We gave the kids about 5 minutes to smell, to do the color, or excuse me, the shape in the good or the bad, and then try to draw it and color it in. And for my group, that was way too much time. They were done in about 2 or 3 minutes, and so there's nothing worse than a kid who's bored and you're trying to keep the next sort of part of the activity a secret when their friend is, or their classmate is currently doing that part of the assignment. So they were sort of passing the smells around and smelling them, and they were, giving each other the secrets of what the smells were. Oh, what do you think it is? Oh, what do you think it is? And all of that kind of a deal. So that ended up not being the greatest for us. And actually, let's make this our screenshot, because this is a village in the savannah. Let's 1 and 2 and back to the 1, and that will very well could be our new snapshot. Our what's the word I'm looking for there? The new cover photo. I think that could be cool. Let's see if there's any good trades over here in the village, and if there's any differences in the savannah villages as opposed to the standard ones. Looks like we've got our standard wheat, potatoes, and carrots. We got our villagers running around like crazy. Anybody home? No, that's a bit overgrown in there, isn't it? No door. Wow. Hello, hi everybody. How are you doing? You're just running away? Hello. I'd like to talk. No, you don't wanna talk? Hello, hi. Can I talk to you? Interesting trade you've got there. How about you? No, this is very strange behavior. I've never seen villagers act like this before. Running around so much. That's quite quite strange. Do we have a blacksmith? We do. Let's check that out. See if there's any goodies in here. I think what they should do is they should put coal and maybe some smelted ores in there. I think that would be kind of a cool thing. Nothing spectacular. I'll take the obsidian in case we want to either make a portal or an enchanting table. The iron never hurt. And honestly, the food can't hurt either. And let's drop off some of this garbage that we don't want, we don't care about, etc. I would like a bow at some point. But hopefully we'll be able to keep away from the mobs for now. That's okay. That'll do. And how are we looking in terms of the day? Probably getting close to... Yep, close to ending it. And that's the western direction that we want to head in, towards the sunset. But the kids would just get bored, and they were done in a couple minutes, and so basically I had to tell them, okay, well, just sit here and don't do anything. And that, if you've ever worked with kids who are in the age range of 4, 5, and 6, that doesn't work. That's a cool looking desert. Let's travel the desert and then wait for nighttime, and then we can go by boat in the morning because, well, I don't want to be out there in the middle of the night. Try to come to land and be in Mob City, and then maybe we can find a desert temple. That could be cool. That could be a fun thing to find. So I would try to I'd say, hey, no, you can't do that, or hey, get on task, or hey, sit down, hey, don't tell each other secrets. And they just wouldn't listen at all. And the teacher, she was noticing, their normal teacher, she started to notice that I was having these issues, and so she'd tell me, okay, well, here's a tip that you can try. And so she told me, try to do a point thing. So they've got point systems. If their table behaves as a whole, they get a certain amount of points, and if their table is misbehaving as a whole, they lose a certain amount of points, and that sort of thing. So let's put a bed down. Oh, we've already got one on the bar there. And probably need to wait. No, we're good. And so I threatened to start taking points away, and that got them to behave for all of about 2 minutes, and then they started misbehaving again. Be careful with that. Well, I don't exactly want it though. Take it back. So that was frustrating, and so by the last or their second to last switch, the teacher came over and said, "Okay, I'll take this station over, and you can go work on the other station." And then those kids, it was like night and day. The kids were completely different. I think part of the issue was the fact that in my station the kids were older, so they were the 5 and 6-year-olds, and so they were able to get things quicker and do them quicker than the rest of the class, and so that it also sort of led to a time management issue type of a thing where, and this has been my co-teacher and I, this has been personally our biggest struggle, has just been the whole time management thing. And interesting, it looks like we have lost our hunger bar down on the bottom there again. I thought that was fixed in the last one, but we're having, looks like boat errors or something like that. Not quite too sure what exactly to call it, but wow, this ocean is just going to go on forever, I think. But then we repeated the lesson on Thursday, and on Thursday we decided that we were going to be, I'm going to use the word again, and I hate to, but we're going to be organic with our time management. And what exactly I mean by that is we were going to just look over, do a little walk around the classroom, the different stations, and just see where people were at, if they're ready or not to move on. And it honestly worked out a lot better. The kids weren't bored. The kids didn't end up having nothing to do or anything like that. So at the end of the day, it worked out a lot better to do it in that format as opposed to the hard and fast sort of, okay, we have to be done at a certain time kind of a deal, which is what we did on Tuesday. The other thing was just the fact that we did not plan enough. We definitely did not have enough of activities for the kids to be doing. And so, you plan out 5 minutes for it and the kids are done in 2. What do? Well, you either got to do what we did the first time, which was, well, try to just control the kids and tell them, hey, sit there and do nothing, which I think is a waste of our time and their time, to be honest. Or you can do what, is this just going to continue as an ocean? I don't want to jump on the island if it is. It looks like it. So you can do what we did the second time, be a little bit more organic, and then at the end, in the beginning, do a little bit more of an explanation and talking about things and reviewing from the previous time, which is what we ended up doing the second time. And I think it worked out a lot better. I was a lot more relieved and happy at the end of Thursday than I was on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I sort of felt like a failure. Like, I've never had that sort of issue. Oh, am I in a Steve skin? Real quick. What is it, F5? No. I'm in a oh, because I'm playing offline. That's why. I don't have my internet plugged in on this computer. One of the issues of having multiple computers in a single and no Wi-Fi in a single Ethernet connection, because I don't want to have to pay for a more expensive modem, because that is how it works through the company that I've got. But we're getting a little long in the tooth here. We're at the roughly the 30-minute mark. I'm gonna jump off the boat, and we're gonna wrap it up this time, and I'll go ahead and tease the next story. So the next story is along similar lines in that it has to do with this program that I am currently working in. Whoa, big lag spike. So I'm side note, I'm hoping that they're gonna sort of fix some of these issues that we've been having in terms of these frame rate issues and droppages and whatnot. But hopefully that will get fixed by the next one. But what I wanted to leave off and sort of tease with was along the same lines. It has to do with this program and trying to get a reimbursement in that sort of whole process. So I will walk off into the non-existent sunset here, and until next time, I'll see you next time.